Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another recap video for the week. So it was a very slow trading week for me this week. Not many opportunities, and the opportunities that did pop up didn't really work out. But I'll just run through all the pairs here as normal and just talk through what happened for the week. So we had on GBPAUD, I was expecting a deeper pullback into this lower level here, but you know, price didn't quite get there. Had an alert set just above the level, but it never really quite got back to this level. It did break through the trend line as expected, and is currently retesting it. So I don't know, maybe later on this week we might see that push on. But no setups were had on this pair. GBPCAD. So I was hoping for GBPCAD to pull back a little bit deeper into this level that it tested last week. So I was hoping for a slightly deeper retracement, but we did get a retracement, but it wasn't as deep as expected, right? And you know, it just pulled back probably about 38% just here. And then it made the move upwards, but so no entries were had on this pair either. GBPCHF. So I unfortunately didn't catch this trade. I did expect this to play out because of this. We had this massive move here, right? We had this massive breakthrough of this kind of major daily level, right? We had this major daily level that was broken, and then once that level was broken, we kind of had this sort of accumulation, right? Or flag pattern forming, and then we had this massive push up and a slow retracement back to the level. Unfortunately, I missed this entry. I had drawn it up, ready for it to come back, but I think it came back. I think it probably happened around 10 p.m. On Thursday, so I missed that entry. Unfortunately, that would have been a really good trade. Anyway, moving on. GBPJPY. So I was expecting this to pull back into these highs here. I'll just hide this for now. But you see, it didn't quite make it deep into the level. Like I would have wanted it just to push that little bit lower till around like this area, but it didn't quite get there. So unfortunately, I didn't catch an entry on this one. But what we did see was a break of these highs here. So I've got an alert if it does manage to kind of pull back into this area. I'd look for long positions and target a new daily high. EURGBP. Actually, one sec. Let me just do that. All right, cool. Yeah. So EURGBP. Sorry. So I was expecting price to pull back up into this level here. It did kind of get there if I just neaten my level up just that a little bit more. So there you go. So it did spike up into the level and then it pushed lower. And then we did see that sort of consolidation once it got back to this area. But then instead of breaking through, it made a push higher, right? But you know, you see it came back into the level. So I'll just keep an eye on this and see if it breaks these lows, and then look for entries next week. EURJPY. Nothing much happened on this pair. I was looking for it to kind of break through higher and push on, but it kind of stuck in this kind of channel that has been creating for a few weeks now. So nothing really set up on this pair for me. EURNZD. So I was expecting price to, because it had this breakthrough, it was in and around this area when I did the analysis. I was expecting it to push into this level with some rejection, but you can clearly see here that it did push into the level. Unfortunately, it had this massive breakthrough candle, right? It just completely disrespected the level. So no entries were had on this pair. All right. EURUSD. All right, so I was looking for this to push higher, which it did. You know, we had the push higher through this level, but I was expecting it to kind of pull back into this area. But you know, it just kept going. It did make a pullback, didn't quite get to the area. So I'll just keep an eye on it for this upcoming week to see what it does. USDCHF, nothing was entered on this pair, but you know, I was hoping for it to kind of push lower and then maybe pull back up into this level of these broken lows, but we didn't see that pullback happen, right? Instead, it continued to break lower, broke past this minor trend line that it has been creating, came back up, it tested it, and then it started to drop again. So no entries were had on this pair, but I'll continue monitoring it to see what shapes up in the upcoming weeks. USDJPY, so I was hoping for this to also kind of pull back. Actually, so what I forecasted was it to pull into these broken highs here, and then maybe pulse back up into this area and then sell, right? But it just sold off straight away. All right, and then it kind of hit this minor level here, and it's now pushing back higher. So I was looking out for it to push just a little bit deeper. You could see where I have my alert set here, just above this demand level. But it didn't quite get low enough, and you know, it bought straight away. So unfortunately, I didn't catch this entry either. But oh well, what can you do? All right, AUDCAD. So again, we were looking for this to push just a little bit deeper, but it just continued to push higher this week. So no setups were had. EURGBP. So we had this minor kind of corrective pattern happening, right? And I was looking for it to break out higher. We did see the breakout, and it did pull back in, but we didn't get that strong impulsive move yet. So just keeping an eye on it to see what happens with it in upcoming weeks. EURGPY, so this just continued to push. Actually, no, it did. So we did have the push higher, right? It did come back into my level, but it didn't have the explosive move that I expected. We're now kind of getting the explosive move that I expected, but it already tested the level, right? It already broke and tested the level. So I didn't enter this week. However, if it does continue to push higher, I'd look for entries if it does pull back. But I'll do more analysis on this tomorrow. And then NZDCHF. So we're expecting it to pull back into these broken highs here. It did pull back in, which showed some rejection, but I didn't catch an entry on this. And you know, I would have entered this trade, but I don't know. Maybe I just missed the entry. I don't think I set an alert on this. So I would have probably entered on this candle here that rejected. So I would have suffered some drawdown, would have gone into profit, and then came back and give some more drawdown. So yeah, it probably would have been a frustrating trade to enter, but it would have been a trade I would have entered. Unfortunately, I didn't enter it, or I guess fortunately in this case. So I'll just keep an eye on it in the weeks to come. Now just moving on to the trades that I actually did enter. As I said, it was a very slow week for me. I had 1 loss this week and 3 break-evens, so no wins yet for this week. So just this first trade here, which was NZDJPY, taken on a 1 hour time frame. It was a long position, very tight stop loss of just 6 pips. Nick alerted me to this trade. It was a break and retest of a minor H1 level, entered off after some rejection. Yeah, here I go with the typos again. All right, there we go. Entered after rejection of the level and trade stopped out, right? So this was the trade at the time of entry. All right, so we had this level that was created. We had a nice breakthrough, pushed back into the level and showed some rejection in confluence with this trend line that was being formed. Right, and then this was the trade at the time of closing. Cool, so pretty much straight away just spiked lower and took me out, right? So I'll just go to the chart and just quickly talk through the trade. So NZDJPY, so we had price moving in this upward kind of channel here. Computer moving really slow, right? So we had this upward channel being created. We had, I mean, I could extend it out here, right? So we had this kind of level here, this level here that was created in the past. So we had price break up, break through, came back down and tested it with rejection. All right, so I'll just jump to the 1 hour time frame so you can see it's a little bit clearer. So I'll just zoom in a little bit. So yeah, so I entered this trade here on this candle, right after we had price push down, right, and then we had this kind of bullish rejection just here, right? So I entered on this candle, and then pretty much straight away on the next candle it just spiked down and took me out of the trade. It did move higher, it didn't move much higher, but it moved to the point where I would have been able to secure profits if it wasn't for this spike lower. But you know, it pushed all the way lower, and then we got the move I was looking for. So unfortunately this trade didn't work out. Next trade on the list for the week was CADJPY. This was taken on the 4 hour time frame. So this was my trade. It was a break and retest of last week's and last month's high. It was a confluence of a zone together with trend line, 618 rejection, bullish engulfing candle, and the 50 EMA. Move stops to break even after an H4 bearish engulfing candle, and I did not stick to my trading plan. So basically this was the trade at the time of entry. Nice, computer struggling, man. All right, so this was the trade at the time of entry. We had this trend line being created. We also had this level that was broken, and price spiked higher, came back, retested, and I was just looking for that push higher, right? Targeting previous daily highs. And then this was the trade at the time that I closed it off. Cool, so we had this bearish engulfing candle just here that kind of took out all of this price action, and then it spiked down and it took me out on break even. After I saw that bearish candle, I just decided to close the trade. Well, I moved my stops to break even, and then it just came down and took me out. But I should have just let the trade do its thing. All right, so I'll just move on to the chart. So CADJPY, so it's taken on the 4 hour time frame. Okay, so this was the trade here. All right, so we had this longer term trend line just here, right? Well respected trend line, apart from this one little breakout that happened. It's very, very well respected. Then we also had price, just hide this now. We had price reject the level quite strongly, very, very clear level. We had this nice strong rejection on the 4 hour time frame, right? I would have liked to enter the trade on this level here on the 1 hour time frame, but I didn't catch an entry there. So I entered after the H4 engulfing candle, and I just make sure I put my stops well beneath the level, right? But then the price action that I saw after, even though we had the nice move up, right, it struggled to move higher, right? It struggled a lot to move higher, and then straight away it had this bearish candle followed by another bearish candle. So unfortunately, that's when I decided to close the trade off, right? It came and it took me out here at break even. But straight away it kind of rocketed into profit, came back, tested again, and then on Friday we had this massive move higher. But it's also rejecting these highs here, right? We had this big bullish candle, but then straight away followed by this bearish candle after some rejection. So I'll just drop to the 1 hour time frame as well. So on this candle here, this 1 hour candle here, this would have been my perfect entry. After it came down, retested the trend line, showed rejection, and then had this big bullish engulfing candle. This would have been the better entry for me. So I'm all right with the situation as it stands. I would have been up about 1% right now on this trade, but I should have stuck to my trading rules. But I'm also happy that I closed the trade off, because this is a very frustrating trade to be in. I would have just liked to see a nice clear bullish momentum just going into profit straight away, just like how it kind of made this move here. That's what I'd like to see, right? So unfortunately that trade didn't work out. Right, just another break-even trade. Well, first break-even trade of the week. Second break-even trade of the week was AUDUSD. This was just a scale-in position taken on a smaller time frame. It was a long position. It's a scale-in off of this odd position from last week. All right, so Nick alerted me to the level. It was a continuation trade based off of a minor break and retest of a H1 level. Trade failed to take off. Move stops to break even after it moved into profit by 2 hours, and then I was taken out at break even. This was the trade at the time of entry. Take this off. Cool. So we had this 1 hour level here that's being created. We had price break above, slowly trickled back into the level, showed some rejection, and then on this bullish candle here, I decided to enter. It was on the 15-minute time frame, but on a 1 hour time frame, it was a clear rejection, right? And then this was the trade at the time that I closed it off. Cool. So it went into profit quite nicely, and it had this massive spike. I think it was about 2.5 hours that it spiked into profit. And then at that point, as it was pushing higher, I decided to move my stops to break even and just secure the position. And then it, straight away, it just kind of pulled back and took me out, right? So just going to the chart or the USD. So trade was analyzed on the 1 hour time frame. So we had, at the point in time, this was the trade here, right? So we had this push higher, nice bullish move, came back down, showed lots of 1 hour rejections, and then on the 15-minute time frame after that bullish candle, I entered, spiked into profit, came down, took me out at break even. Then it pushed lower, came back, retested the highs again, pushed even lower. If it came down to this level, which it didn't quite do, I would have taken another entry here, but it didn't quite get back to this level. So this would have been a nice trade, but I wasn't part of that, right? I mean, technically I'm part of it because I'm still in this longer term trade, right? So this is in a lot of profit right now. But I would have liked to scale in and just kind of monopolize on this longer term move, but unfortunately it didn't work out. And then the last trade of the week, which was also the most frustrating trade of the week, was a EURCHF trade taken on the 1 hour time frame. It was a short position. This was my trade. It was a break and retest of a H1 level, nice rejection. Trade missed my TP by a fraction of a pip, 0.06 pips, right? And then I closed out on break even after it rallied back to my entry. Right, so this was the trade at the time of entry. Very clear setup. I was really happy with this trade, right? So we had this nice market structure being formed on a 1 hour time frame. Right, we have nice levels being made, right? And then it came back, tested the broken lows, showed rejection, so I entered at this point here, right? And then I'll just show you the trade at the time of closing. All right, so you can see here price did spike down to pretty much almost exactly to my TP, but it just missed it by a fraction of a pip and then pushed all the way back up, right? This is actually on the 4 hour time frame here. Right, so I'll just talk through this trade with you. So this was on EURCHF. All right, so trade was taken here on the 1 hour time frame. So you could see here, nice market structure being formed. We have price making nice impulses down, pulling back, retesting broken levels, pushing lower, pulling back, retesting broken levels, pushing down, pulling back, retesting broken levels, right? So we're just hoping for the momentum to continue, which it did. All right, so we had this nice move lower, did kind of consolidate here for a bit, tried to push higher, and then, you know, we had this nice bearish move lower, and unfortunately, you know, as I said, right, it just missed my TP. I mean, probably I could have been a little bit more conservative with my TP, right, and just put it just above the level, at which point it would have been you know, a profitable trade. But unfortunately, I was expecting it to push all the way to the lows. So unfortunately that didn't work out, right? I was just targeting previous H4 levels, these previous lows, as final targets, but unfortunately the trade didn't work out. So that was pretty much my trading week. So first down week of the year, as you know, these down weeks are to be expected, but you know, I'm still up on the month, right? So we're still doing well for the trading month so far. So this was yeah, so basically, where is it? I don't know where it is, but anyway, so yeah, there we go. Right, week 1, we're sitting in around 12-hour returns for week 1, and week 2 just down 6 pips and minus 1 hour, right? So far for the month, up around 11.8 hour, and that's not taking into consideration where the other USD trade is right now. That's still to be closed off and fully book out profits. So yeah, I mean, so far so good. We'll see. Hopefully next week is a better week, right? Hopefully we have a better trading week next week. So anyway, that's it for me with the recap video anyway. So obviously, as usual, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. And if you're not subscribed, feel free to subscribe and, you know, join me on my trading journey. All right, I'll catch you guys tomorrow in the Outlook video.